So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vandana Vyas, Manager Outreach at SIGN. Thank you for joining us for the awareness session on Defense India Startup Challenge by IDEX, that is Innovation for Defense Excellence. A very warm welcome to the panelists and the attendees who have joined us today. Now, before we start the session, I would like to give you a brief introduction about SIGN for the benefit of those who have joined us for the first time. So SIGN, that is Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, is a technology business incubator hosted at IIT Bombay. We started way back in 2004 as an incubator in academia setup. Now, being hosted in an academia setup has its own advantage. We have a ready ecosystem, as in terms of faculty being as mentors. There are lab facilities in the institutes. Students and alumni and faculty all together can turn up as entrepreneurs. We are a sector agnostic incubator and provide start to scale support to startups in various domains. Though hosted inside IIT Bombay, we are open to all startups across India. Our programs range from pre-incubation, incubation, and accelerator, and could be of different duration from 3 months to 1 year to 3 years, and maybe even for a longer duration for the companies, especially in the healthcare domain. We provide various facilities to our startups in terms of infrastructure facilities, that is office space, funding support, mentoring, networking. We give them opportunities to showcase their product to the industry as well as the investors. We have received support from various government departments in the implementation of these programs, like Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Information and Electronics, BIRAC, and Ministry of Defense. Over these past 16 years, we have supported some 170 plus startups, 550 plus entrepreneurs and innovators under different programs. These startups in turn have created 4,000 plus jobs and have raised 1,400 crore of funds. We now have our own separate lab facilities for electronics, mechanical, and biolab. We are going to expand further by next year to be able to support up to 60 to 65 startups at any given point of time. The pandemic hasn't dampened the spirit of the SIGN team, and we have been continuing to serve startup ecosystem with the same zest and spirit. We have been continuously coming up with call for applications under different programs, holding PAR our expert series session for the benefit of our startups. Today is one such session on awareness of Defense India Startup Challenge by IDEX, where we'll be seeing experts sharing the information about the program and entrepreneurs sharing their experience. I now invite my colleague Rashmi to share the session format and introduce the speakers. Rashmi, over to you.
Thanks, Vandana. Thank you so much. And a warm welcome to all of you, all the panelists and the attendees as well, audience. So today's session will be a very interesting session. It is basically focused on defense innovation. In the last few years, there has been more focus in defense towards indigenization, Make in India initiatives, and government is providing a lot of support for solutions or startups who are working in defense domain, the budding innovators, also MSMEs and defense PSUs. They are adopting, validating the solutions provided by these startups in defense. So to give our innovators more information about these programs, about these initiatives by government, we have three esteemed guests here. So the session is basically, we have divided into two parts. First part is from the government side. Dr. Rai will be representing the Defense India Innovation from IDEX, and he'll be giving us brief about the DISC 4 challenge that has been launched recently by Ministry of the Defense. And Actually, there are already 3 cycles of this disk challenge. Has from the past 2 years, DIO has launched these 3 challenges, and the specific problem statements are given by all the 3 triforces and the PSUs, and the support, funding support by government and DIO is given to the startups. Whereas the DIO has partnered with the incubation centers, experienced incubation centers in India, to provide or nurture these startups to achieve their milestones and goals and serve towards the defense. So the second part, in the second part, we will go to the other side of the table, that is the entrepreneurs who are working in the defense domain. Our own incubators, sign incubators, we have two entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs with us, and we will discuss with them what kind of if what is their learnings, what is their experience throughout their journey, and what their problems they faced, or whatever experiences they have to share with the budding entrepreneurs. So to start with, I will introduce Dr. Rai first. So Dr. Rai is a fellow Institution of Engineers India and a chartered engineer. He is an alumnus of National Defense Academy, IIT Kharagpur and IIM Ahmedabad. Dr. Rai has dedicated nearly 22 years in service in the Navy, including deputation with Ministry of Railways. He is a marine gas turbine specialist and served in the professional directorates at naval headquarters, handling various gas turbine indigenization programs and their life cycle management. With postgraduate diploma in management from JBIMS Mumbai University and management course from IIM Ahmedabad, Dr. Rai has been working as program director in Defense Innovation Organization at Department of Defense Production, Ministry of Defense. He has been the founding program director and working towards achieving self-reliance and foster innovation and technology development in Indian Armed Forces through indigenous startups. I welcome Dr. Rai for this session. Our next guest is the entrepreneur, innovator, our own IIT Bombay alum and side incubator as well, Abhishek Jain. Abhishek holds a master's degree in technology from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, with aerodynamics as a specialization. Abhishek has been associated with Zeus Numerics Private Limited since the inception of the company. He has been associated in many technical and managerial roles. He has made more than 15 technical and managerial contributions to reputed conferences and magazines. He has organized more than 25 workshops in CFD and other simulations and delivered lectures in technical and business conferences. He is VP Strategic Partnership at Zeus Numerics and has been responsible for acquiring new customers and formalizing partnerships with potential collaborators and customers. He is instrumental in proposing design solutions to customers instead of only analysis, and he has partnered with fabrication companies for providing this. He was one of the 10 innovators to meet Defense Secretary USA, winner of Lockheed Martin Innovation Medal, and and various other awards and achievements. A warm welcome to you, Abhishek, for this session. Then we have our next panelist as Dr. Suruchi Rao. Suruchi Rao is the co-founder and CEO of Osius Bio Renewables, a Bangalore-based bioenergy company founded in 2017. Dr. Suruchi co-founded Osius after completing her PhD in bioprocess technology from the Institute of Chemical Technology, ICT, Mumbai. Osius has developed a portable device for hydrogen gas generation using wastewater as the primary feedstock. They are recipients of the IDEX grant under DISC 1 challenge, where they are providing the Indian Navy with a custom device aimed at desalinating and treating oily bilge water with simultaneous clean energy generation via hydrogen. A warm welcome to you as well, Suruchi. And thank you for joining us. So now I request Dr. Rai to share the brief overview about the IDEX, and then we will run the video of that IDEX.
Thank you, Rashmi ma'am. Thanks for the kind words and introduction. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So first of all, I welcome all the panelists and all the attendees who are with us today to hear about the IDEX program and attend the launch of DIS 4 and promotion event for the DIS 4 Defense India Startup Challenge 4. Yeah, I also thank Sign IIT Bombay for supporting us in this event. And we'll start with the brief introduction of what IDEX is all about. IDEX is Innovations for Defense Excellence. It's a startup setup for supporting innovations in armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force. And now, gradually after having done DISC 1, 2, and 3, we have now also switched over to inviting challenges from defense PSUs and also from corporate. So with that, we have now completed about 18 challenges, and we have close to 58 startups which are being incubated at various partner incubators that IDEX has. We are a Section 8 company called as Defense Innovation Organization, and IDEX is one of the initiative under Defense Innovation Organization. There are a few other initiatives as well which are running under Defense Innovation Organization. And presently, we are promoting the launch of DISC 4, which was launched on 29th September by Honorable Raksha Mantri. And the application date shall be closing on 30th November, this month end. With that a brief introduction about IDEX, we'll hear more once the introductory video is over. May I request Vandana to please play the introductory video for IDEX?
क्या भारत ये सपना नहीं दे सकता कि हम दुनिया में स्टार्टअप की दुनिया में भारत नंबर 1 पर पहुंचेगा?
Dreams are going to manifest into reality. In April 2018, at DEF Expo, our Honorable Prime Minister launched the Innovations for Defence Excellence IDEX.
It will set up defense innovation hubs throughout the country to provide necessary incubation and infrastructure support to the startup in defense area.
In a very short span, the country is ready with a framework that supports and promotes innovations from startups, MSMEs and individual innovators. Ministry of Defence, Government of India unveils today a package of initiatives. Spark, support for prototype and research kickstart in defence. Framework for IDEX partners. Promotion of startups under Make 2 procedure of DPP 2016. Exchange of MOUs with anointed incubators. For the first time in the country, in principle approval for Suomoto proposal under Make 2. And launch of 11 challenges under IDEX. These initiatives not only offer huge opportunities for the startups of our country, but also help India realize its vision of self-reliance in defense productions.
Dr. Rai, could you please briefly tell us about what the challenges are there for the innovators in this DISC 4 program?
Yeah, sure, Rashmi. We have total 11 challenges this time as part of the DISC 4. Like I mentioned that we have already completed DISC 1, 2, and 3. They got over last year, and DISC 3 in fact got over early this year, just before the DEF Expo. This time we have got total 11 challenges. 2 have been issued by Army, 2 from Navy, 3 from Air Force, And we have our defense PSUs, HAL and BEL. They have also issued 2 and 1 challenges respectively. And we have received 1 challenge from GSL also, that is Goa Shipyard Limited. So total we have about 11 challenges. The good part about this DIS 4 is that we have now, unlike earlier times when we had only services giving the challenges, this time we have got from defense PSUs, as well as one of the shipyard has also issued 1 challenge. So let's hear more about the detailed challenges, and thereafter we shall take question answers, and further in case there any query on the process itself, if the audience has, we'll discuss that.
Okay, sure. So just before we play the video, if you could tell us about what will be the selection process for this, and how many startups you are targeting under this particular every challenge or for the program.
Sure. So we don't have any fixed number to target. For instance, last time we had about out of 18 challenges, there are 2 challenges where we don't have any winners. There was 1 challenge where about 7-8 applicants had applied. We assessed them, and then we did not find any of them who could merit selection, so we had to reject them. Now the process is a multi-tier scrutiny and short listing and screening that we do. So the initial screening is done by the IDEX team itself. We have our group of experts with us. Thereafter, we take support of our partner incubators. So just like Sign is one of our partner incubators, similarly, we have other partner incubators, mainly IITs and IIM, IISc Bangalore. We forward these applications to the subject matter experts in these partner incubators. And each application is screened by at least 2 partner incubators after they are shortlisted by us. Basically, we look at the idea with the concept, whether it is matching with what services require, because we are ourselves ex-defense. Therefore, we will be able to assess a good fit for these challenges. So once the applications are reviewed by the partner incubators and they also select them, thereafter these things are forwarded to services for assessment. And we form a high-powered selection committee, and it is headed by a flag officer, rank officer from that particular service. And thereafter, the finally shortlisted people are called for presentation. So till date, we had only physical presentation by the startups. This time we might have to have, because of COVID restrictions, it will be on a video conference. So roughly around, I assume that for each challenge, we have about close to 10 people who are called MSMEs, startups, and all that. And out of them, if none of them merit, we don't select anyone. If 3-4 of them merit selection, we take them, because we are mindful of the fact that in startups, we have a fairly large number of dropouts because of various reasons. A lot of them are initial startups, do not have sufficient funding or do not have sufficient experience, and then they do tend to drop out midway through. So we are mindful of the fact, and therefore we take them right till the end, hand-holding by the particular service which has issued the challenge. And during this process of co-development and co-creation along with the service representatives, we fund them also, and we continue the complete process of co-development. And at the end of the last milestone, we usually have 5 milestones for each of these challenges. At the end of last milestone, we expect that the production ready prototype would be provided by the startup, which can get into commercialization. And we eventually have a defense vendor with us, indigenous defense vendor. So that's how the complete process goes on.
Okay, thanks for that. So mainly it was more looking for the product fit for the particular challenge and the potential of the team or capability of the team. That should be the main factor for selection of these startups. Yeah.
So DISC, like the name suggests, Defense India Startup Challenge, the name itself is, it is against a challenge which has been issued by the services. So these are not suo motu proposals. We have a separate scheme also, which is called Open Challenge, which we can talk about more offline. So this scheme invites any innovator who feels that his product may be a good fit for armed forces, but it is not against a particular challenge. then he can apply under Open Challenge, which is again available on our website, and they can the keen startups can apply under that Open Challenge.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Swati, can we play the next video? So this video, just to give the idea to the audience, this video actually is for all the 11 challenges which are under this DISC 4 program launched by DIO. So can we run that video?
Innovations for Defence Excellence, IDEX, launching the 4th edition of Defence India Startup Challenges. Autonomous underwater swarm drones. Naval mines are often positioned in turbulent or murky water to damage or destroy ships and submarines. A decentralized swarm of underwater drones equipped with advanced artificial intelligence and mine detection capabilities is required to reduce the risk and secure the ships and submarines from being damaged by the naval mines. Predictive, preventive, and prescriptive machine health monitoring system. A modern naval ship is fitted with several equipment and machineries such as radars, desalination systems, pumps, etc. for various in-ship operations. A modular IoT platform with multiple sensors shall be fitted to the naval machinery to continuously monitor their essential parameters. With the help of AI and machine learning, the platform shall be able to predict maintenance in advance, thereby preventing failure. Super resolution for aerial imagery. The sharpness and clarity of aerial images captured by reconnaissance and surveillance aircrafts and satellites are highly affected by sensor capability and atmospheric conditions. Often, the aerial images have low spatial resolution, making it difficult to identify patterns and objects in the image. There is a need to develop an algorithm which enhances the spatial resolution, capable of working on aerial images of various resolutions, optical band and illumination conditions obtained from different sensors. AI-based satellite image analysis. Traditionally, the images from satellites are analyzed manually, making it impractical to accurately identify surface and aerial objects. With advanced AI-based automated image processing and classification methods, the images from the satellites need to be processed in real time for identification of troops, targets, and various surface patterns. Prediction and forecasting of atmospheric visibility. Flight routes and associated operations are planned based on environmental visibility. The conventional visibility forecasting is an inherently manual system with limited accuracy due to human interpretation. It is proposed to develop an automated tool using artificial intelligence for accurate prediction of real-time and location-specific visibility forecast. Computer-generated targets for virtual training. The weapons, avionics, and other equipment for air combat in modern fighter aircrafts are rapidly evolving. The pilot training tools and methods used by the armed forces require continuous upgrades to keep pace with the technology. There is a need to develop computer-generated target flights in flight simulators. The virtual targets learn from past flight data and are capable of making real-time in-flight decisions to train the pilots for more realistic air combat scenarios. Real-time health monitoring of air crew. Fighter pilots and flight crew must be in optimal health and fitness to handle the physical demand of modern aerial operations and warfare. In modern fighter jets flying at high altitude, the flight crew is subjected to extreme G forces and have reduced oxygen. It is essential to measure and monitor the critical vital parameters of the air crew in real time and alert in case of acute and abnormal deviations. MFTDMA based wideband SATCOM modem. In the battlefield, communication satellites play an important role in transferring critical battlefront and reconnaissance data. Traditional communications through satellites are slow and inefficient, making it impractical to transfer large data. The need of the hour is a next-generation satellite communication modem with high data rate catering to the seamless transmission of large data, voice and video transmissions. Foliage penetration radar. The soldiers are highly vulnerable to unexpected enemy attacks in densely forested areas, grasslands and swamps. The traditional reconnaissance and target detection techniques fail to identify troops and objects in these dense terrains. The safety and preparedness of the troops can be increased multifold by the development of a foliage penetrating radar which can be integrated into the night vision and surveillance devices. Reduction of RCS of naval warships. In designing a ship with reduced radar signature, the main concerns are radar beams originating near or slightly above the horizon, as seen from the ship coming from distant patrol aircraft, other ships or sea-skimming anti-ship missiles with active radar seekers. Reducing the RCS of a naval ship enables its late detection, which is useful for capitalizing on elements of surprise. Target detection in chaff environment. Often, air and surface targets deploy shafts to confuse the detecting radar systems, which create a required time window for the targets to escape. The deployment of shafts also triggers false detection alarms. A primary shaft mitigation solution has to be developed, which reduces false alarms and sustained tracking of targets when shafts are deployed. Inviting startups, MSME, individual innovators, research and academic professionals to apply for DISC 4. Selected applicants will get grants up to 1.5 crores, along with the opportunity to co-create and co-develop the defense technologies of future with our armed forces. Besides the grant, selected winners receive product and business acceleration support from IDEX partner incubators, access to defense facilities for QA and certification. Applications are open at idex.gov.in. Innovations for Defense Excellence, IDEX.
So now we'll go to the other side of the table, that is the entrepreneurs which are working with defense. So first, I would like to ask Abhishek, you started your journey when there was entrepreneurship was not a buzzword, or even the investors were not much keen on investing in the startups. Also, the ecosystem was not matured, and you straight away went to defense. So, what is your motivation and what was your experience during this journey? Can you just briefly tell us about that?
Okay, so I think the story is not very great to tell. We were from aerospace department, and the first projects came from the aero side, from the missile side. So the first project of my career was doing some simulations on a very large missile, which I cannot name. And then it was for a project called HSTDV, Hypersonic Technology Demonstrator Vehicle, which is successfully now fired, which makes our country, I think, third or fourth in the world to have such technology. So I think the motivation was professor was there. He's the nicest professor I got. I worked with him, and the problem statements were very good, and still they are much better than what my friends do in the other industries. So that I think is part of the motivation. And I think people have little bit of misunderstanding about the defense. Yes, it is a very process driven ministry or industry, but then there are upsides to it also, like you don't become obsolete very often. It's a very stable kind of I mean, tomorrow the technology changes and you are suddenly out of business. That may not happen in defense as much as it happens in IT. So I think there are some plus sides and minus sides, but it has been a wonderful journey because what you see and what you learn is very different than what you can ever be. So,
Right, right, right. So moving on to Suruchi. Suruchi, you are compared to Abhishek, you are from the young entrepreneurs generation. You started your company in 2017, and you are the winner of this DISC One challenge. So, how was your experience during this journey with defense? What is what
Right.
do you suggest these new or budding entrepreneurs for do's and don't do's when they are applying for DISC challenge?
No, I think we've had a very lateral story, nearly opposite to what Abhishek spoke about. We had a very clear opportunity in terms of wastewater for industrial use. The only thing that we realized with the defense challenge was at a very business level, this was an opportunity where number one, we could actually develop a technology for the country. Number two, this would basically mean transferring our IP to someone like HAL so that they could do the manufacturing. Now, as a young entrepreneur, young startup company, you can imagine we had a hardware solution. So we have a device that basically fits onto any system that transports wastewater and uses that opportunity to desalinate it and generate energy. For us, the defense opportunity meant that our IP now had some value where the burden of manufacturing wouldn't fall on us, and we'd be able to scale up our technology very rapidly, starting with the Indian Navy. It was also a very good opportunity for us to de-risk our technology, something which is new, like a hardware device generating energy from wastewater. It's intensive in terms of the amount of money required to prove the technology, come up with a proof of concept, then get the necessary certifications, and then actually have a deployment. For us to be a part of the DISC-1 challenge and to work with Dr. Rai, it's really helped us understand what this journey is, and the fact that they helped us not just with the funding, but with the technical support required to embark on this journey was very useful. We could take these learnings and we've applied it to other industries since. But just as part of DISC One and IDEX challenge, we were able to de-risk a lot of these minutia that you don't think about when you're starting out. You think you have a product, but there's several steps involved with taking it to a point where it can be deployed. And IDEX is continuing to support us with that.
Yeah, right, right, right. So for the budding entrepreneurs, I think the programs like this, government initiatives are really helping out. So on the same line, I would like to ask Abhishek, what is the difference you have seen? I mean, the difference because initially before 10, 15 years before you started, and now there are a lot of programs, initiatives, funding support. Even the investors also are coming forward to invest in the defense related innovative startups. So, what do you see? Like, what is your opinion about this change? How it is going to go forward, and what will be the government focus or focus areas? What is your take on this?
okay, so first thing, when we started in 2004, the thing that was better from today was the routine projects. The power with the people who gave projects was much more. Nowadays, it is uh, a lot of transparency, but it also creates a problem where people who are unwanted also take advantage of that transparency and try to go into the system. So that was, I think, the only advantage. But nowadays, there are a lot many advantages. For example, to the entrepreneurs who are here listening, suppose somebody gives you 1.5 crore rupees, like IDEX is giving, how much equity you will have to give to that person? as a VC. I mean, almost selling half the company at the stage that most of the people are. Whereas here, you are not giving an iota of your equity. So your company remains your company 100%. I mean, what else can you get from the? So the problem is that sometimes we are not appreciative of what we are getting. We are getting money. We are also getting future orders. We are getting a support in quality assurance. So somebody else is also testing your product. I do not think we should ask for more. What else can you do? So uh, it's this scheme is quite good. Similarly, I think there is technology development fund and there are other schemes also. The government has consciously thought of spending money to create manpower and technology. So it's sometimes in the schemes, if you fail, they are not taking money back from you. It is unthinkable that government auditor, and my father was an auditor in defense, so I know how. I have lived with him for 35 years. Any money spent, even 50 60 rupees, you will get a letter from an auditor that why was this money spent on this thing which was not allowed. And here the government is giving 1.5 crores and asking you to be honest with the money, develop something and give it back to the country. And if you give it back to the country, they are promising you even much bigger money. If you fail, they are saying okay, bacha fail ho gaya to theek hai, and they are not taking your equity. I do not know what else can somebody give you. So it's like that. So the
Perfect.
times are very good. So make use of that time. And I think in disc one, I was also a participant, but two, three people, four people are being given a same project. That is also unthinkable in the realm of a government auditor who would say that एक ही चीज को चार बार क्यों खरीदना है. And this I'm saying because I have been a son of a government auditor. So yeah.
Perfect, perfect. You have given a lot of insights for the entire process, and in very proper words, you have given what the program is giving to the entrepreneurs working in the defense domain. Yeah. So, Suruchi, just want to ask you, like, what advice or what suggestion will you give to this potential applicants who are applying now for this 4 in terms of do's and don't do's, what while doing the application or while even presenting to the defense, so what will be your learnings which you would like to share with the startups?
Absolutely. One very critical thing I think that anybody listening here should make a note of is remember that you're creating a product that someone is actually going to be using. It isn't an idea. Like we saw in the video, there's a problem statement given to us, given to all those who are applying, and you may have a solution that you think really fits into that problem statement. It covers the entire aspect of the problem, but always keep in mind that there's an end user, and the end user is already used to working in a certain way. So minimizing his discomfort towards a change in technology or to the introduction of a new technology is critical. Try and reach out to Dr. Rai, to you, Rashmi ma'am, and speak to people in the ecosystem who will tell you what it is that they want on the ground, rather than only looking at, I have a solution, I think it'll really fit the problem, please buy it. The moment you shift the perspective from your solution to the end user's perspective, that pitch will go easier than you could have ever imagined. Even Dr. Rai will agree with me when I say that most often what happens is when you're taking a technology and you're trying to translate it in a different context, a lot of it gets lost. Even I've had conversations with Dr. Rai where I try and convince him saying, no, you need this. But it's very important to listen to the customer, the end user, and take in everything that he has to say. And a little bit of homework done before you make that application would really go a long way, would ensure that your application is foolproof. And when you get to that point where you're pitching in front of the who's who of the Indian Navy, of Invest India, they believe in your technology simply based on the fact that your application not only addressed the problem, but it took in consideration what the end user will have to do to make that shift or to make that jump. So just keep that in mind. That will really go a long way.
Yeah, I think that will be very helpful. That is very helpful for the new applicants, potential applicants for this disc 4. Abhishek, any suggestions, any guidance you want to give to these applicants or potential entrepreneurs, and then we will open up for the question and answers.
I have a lot. You can give me 1 hour.
No,
Okay.
at the moment, no. But yes, we
Okay.
can definitely arrange a 1 hour session for our
Okay.
entrepreneurs. Yes.
So the first thing where I think I will differ from Suruchi, that we can reach out to Dr. Rai anytime, I think that should not be done. See, if you go to IDEX website where there are a lot of documentation about the scheme, there is a 104-page document titled as IDEX Compendium 2019. There is a PMA guidelines document. There is a Spark guideline document. There is even a document for how incubators can associate themselves with IDEX. I mean, everything that was supposed to be said is already written there. Uh, Unfortunately, because now I have been getting many speaking assignments, people do call and say, "Ye kaise karenge?" So this inherent laziness of not reading and then asking the senior says, "Not a good idea. You are not a good entrepreneur if you are doing that." So please read the scheme documents carefully. You listen to that every day on advertisements and television. Please read it. Almost everything that you can ask has been written very properly, very nicely formatted. Nice documents are there on the website. So that is the first thing that I wish to tell people. Once you are very much stuck that you are literally not understanding the written document, then probably you should approach. Otherwise, you should try to sort it out yourself. That is one. Second is, I think you should also choose your technology wisely. So I'll give you one example. I was approached by one person who wanted to put some electronics in an artillery shell. Now let's not name the project or product or what happened, but so he said, I am an electronics company with a very small component of electronics, and I said, isko main project pura karunga. I'll do the entire product. I told him, is your electronics verified for 100G, 1000G, 10,000G? And he never thought that artillery shells have 10,000G load on them, and any electronics that goes into the shell does not survive that environment. So these basics people don't read and they just want to apply. So it is basically a waste of national resource, because you also waste your time in writing something which is useless. And because of the procedure, the IDEX people have to read whatever useless things you have written, and it is a waste of time for them also. So I would request, the second thing that I would want to say is that choose your technology wisely and apply only in those cases where you have read about the system or you understand the system. That is second. The third and final idea I wish to give is that there is one more problem, which is the greed of entrepreneurs, where they want to do everything themselves, and that causes a lot of problem, because in any defense system it's usually always multidisciplinary, and you need guidance from people who are actually there on the field. You need guidance from people who do the mathematical basis of the product, and then you need guidance from somebody who makes it. So these are three different things, and usually it is not possible for any entrepreneur. And I am 16-year-old in this field, and I cannot say that I know it all. So I think whether it is greed of taking everything, or whether it is the lack of humbleness that I do not know, that causes a lot of problem. So I think what I have been trying, and what every entrepreneur listening should try, is to collaborate. Have as many collaborations as possible. Try to do a small stuff, but try to do it good. That would make the cost lower for yourself, for the country, and it would grow your company, instead of trying to get 100% of zero. 100% of zero would always remain zero. So try to get 100% of, say, 20%. That you please try. These are three things. Thank you.
Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks. It's not only for the specific program, I would say it is in general for the entrepreneurs to learn from these advices or experiences which you are sharing with them. So we will open up for questions. If any questions, please, the audience, please write in the question and answer text box. We have one question from Vignesh. He is asking what is the process and tentative timeline with respect to open challenges. So, Dr. Rai, is there any open challenge coming up in the future?
Yeah, so we've already finished with Open Challenge 1 and 2. So results of Open Challenge 1 is going to be announced very shortly. Open Challenge 2, the final screening is in process, and we shall commence that also very soon. We are in the process
Okay.
of, like we said, that we started with Defense India Startup Challenge, these challenges, and later on we also started inviting Suomoto proposals. That happened during time of DIS 3. So we are still in the process of settling down with the open challenge guidelines and everything. So in between, we had given a slight pause to our open challenge procedures. We'll be starting open challenge 3 now very soon. So 1 and 2 have been completed. We have already shortlisted the applicants. The results of open challenge 1 would be announced soon. Open challenge 3 would be commenced very soon. We'll keep it open on our website, and as soon as it opens, people who are keen to apply under Suomoto proposals open challenge 3, they'll be free to do so.
Okay, okay. So there is one more question, Jai Krishnan. Is this only for students currently studying in IIT Bombay? No, it is open for all. This program is open for all, for the students, researchers, as you might have seen now in the video. So I hope it is clear to you now. There's one more question. Are there any startups related UGV apart from DRDO and Soran? So
What is that, ma'am? Could you repeat the question?
there is a question. I'm also not very clear about the question. Are there any startups related UGV apart from, Swati, can we unmute this Ms. Meet Bhatt so that person can
please.
ask the question directly, just to get clarity on the question? Hello, Swati?
Yeah, I have done that, Rashmi.
Hi, Dr. Rai. Hi, Rashmi. Yes, my question was, I've been doing a research about, unmanned ground vehicle. So I have developed interest in defense technology, and then I was doing a research about where I feel I am comfortable and I can contribute. So my area of interest is an unmanned ground vehicle, and I have done a research that DRDO has developed one of the UGV that we use, and there is a one private company which named Suran. They have shown the one of their model in the Defense Expo. So I just want to know that is there any other startups which is working on developing a UGVs or not, and if like I'm really interested to make one kind of UGV.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Meet. Thanks for this query. We have not had any challenge which has been related to unmanned ground vehicles till date. So like I told that Defense India Startup Challenges are only based on the problem statements which are issued by services or defense PSUs. Till date, we have had unmanned surface and underwater vehicles, but we have not had unmanned ground vehicles requirement projected by Army or any other service. So as and when that comes and we have some information, we shall reach out to indigenous startups for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You are mute, Rashmi.
Sure. Yeah. So there is one more question. Is there any age limit for applicants? So I think you will find it on the website itself.
No, there can't be any age limit. You can be entrepreneur at 60 also. There's no issue.
Yeah, right.
Please
right,
read
right.
the scheme documents carefully.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I must say, Abhishek has very categorically brought out the silent aspects of what IDEX has, how IDEX stands out. And yeah, definitely, I would suggest all of you to read the documents which are available on our website. And again, but I don't agree with him that you shouldn't bother to disturb me. You are free to disturb me anytime. Of course, my number is not public. It's there with Rashmi, it's there with Sign. And of course, it's there with Suruchi, and Abhishek also might be having. You can reach out to them if the queries are not resolved, or is there something specific which you want only me to answer. I'm always open. I'm available to answer your queries and take on any questions offline or otherwise. But notwithstanding that, coming to what Abhishek rightly brought out was that we have a huge funding opportunity up to 1.5 crores. And but yes, it does come with a matching contribution as well. So if the total product cost or project's cost development budget that is proposed is say 3 crores, then 1.5 is what we give, 1.5 the startup has to bring from his side. If the cost is lesser, then we limit our funding to 50% of the total product development cost, which also includes a bit of founder salary, bit of and complete the core team salary, etc. So this scheme has been really very thought through, and we've come out with uh, all kinds of support that startup, budding young entrepreneur of our nation needs. So all those needs have been really thought of very well, and we are taking 4, 5, or maybe few more number than what actually could make the product, is primarily because in case there's a failure, we don't miss out on the challenge, or we don't miss out on the product altogether. Yeah.
Right, right. So there's one more question. Is there any limit on number of challenges that we can apply on IDEX website? So
No, now having learned from our past experience in disk 1, 2, and 3, now we have started uploading the format on disk itself, on our website itself. So from there you can go, you can apply under that. And but only thing is that if you want to apply in number of challenges, you will have to each time fill up the form. You cannot under one, you cannot mention all the challenges where you want to apply. You'll have to fill the form each time that you wish to apply.
but they are eligible to apply. If they
Yes.
fill the form for
Yes.
different challenges, they are eligible.
Yes, definitely they are eligible to apply under multiple challenges if they think that they merit.
Okay, okay. So there is one more question. Can you please elaborate the challenge 2? And also the continuing question is from the same person, is that can we sell this product other than defense area? So even if they get the funding from defense, can they sell in the other market also?
Okay, so challenge 2 is predictive, preventive, and prescriptive machine monitoring, machine health monitoring. We have kept the problem statement very, very broad. That is because we intend to invite as many startups who are eligible, or who think that they are eligible for this, and we want to invite as many ideas that we can. So the statement has been kept very broad, but during the after a startup is shortlisted and screened through the multi-layer screening process that we have, and he is required to face the high-powered selection committee, that is the time we shall have the nodal officers from our services present, and they would be introducing details of the particular challenge. And once, for example, say 2 of them get selected under, say, this problem statement, to predictive, preventive, and prescriptive machinery health monitoring, then both of them will be shared detailed problem definition statement. And that is the time we'll divulge the further details, because a certain level of broadness is kept in the beginning, so that we can invite as many startups who think are even remotely related, and they fit into this.
Okay, okay. So there's one more question. We had applied for Open Challenge 2. We have been told HPSC presentation will be arranged. Curious to know when this is planned. So
yeah, so maybe we are looking at HPSC Open Challenge 1 has just got completed. So we are looking at Open Challenge 2 somewhere likely to be held next month, and that should be completed.
okay, okay. So we'll take this couple of questions, and then in the interest of time, we need to close the session. So one question is, the solution concept part in the IDEX application has any specific word limit, or it has no limit? Dr. Rai, you want to answer this? The solution concept part in the IDEX application. This is specific to the application form, it seems.
I think in the form we have kept a limit of about 2 MB, uploading limit of 2 MB. So briefly, in about a page, your concept can be covered. There are multiple options where you have to fill in various things, what technology you bring, what is the innovation, and what is the future use case, or what is the market scenario. So we haven't kept any limit as such, but there is a limit on uploading the data, which I think is 2 MB as of now. And it has been meeting the requirement of startups generally.
Hello, so your voice is very low.
Yeah, you can hear me.
It's a bit
Yeah,
low, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying that there's no limit as such. Generally, I think 2 MB is the limit that we have kept on the size of the file, not only size of the words.
Okay. Okay. So that's the file size limit, not as a word limit you are putting on that. Okay. And there's one more question. Would being an individual innovator be a wise idea in defense sector? I would like Abhishek to comment on this. The question is, would being an individual innovator be a wise idea in defense sector?
Personally speaking, for me, it is not a wise idea because there is nothing like a one-man army in this world. So I'm a very big votary of collaborations and tying up with people. अकेला आदमी कर करके 20 घंटा काम कर लेगा, प्रधानमंत्री से भी ज्यादा काम कर लेगा, इसके आगे कहाँ जाएगा? So you have to have a team. So that of course is true. And then of course when you become a grantee, then it's not only that you are doing technical work, there is a lot of financial work also involved. You have to keep your bills and invoices proper. In fact, I just wanted to say, read the page number 58 and 59 of the compendium document, because some startups may get scared ki I have to contribute 1.5 crores, where would I get that money? But in-kind contributions and past expenditures are also allowed. And so read that document. So I think it's a very well thought through document. If you read that document, you also do technology, you also do finance, and then you also do the QA, then I think either you are Superman or you would fail. And the chances of the second one is more. So I do not encourage one-man armies. I am not very fan of this concept.
Absolutely. So there's one last question we will take from Madhusudan Naik. He has raised his hand. Swati, can you please unmute him so that he can ask the question? Yeah, Madhusudan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Rai. Yeah. So my question is that, like, specifically, if you see, you said about an IoT monitoring platform for challenge number 2. Okay. So, like, we are also selling it to some of our customers like BPCL and IOCL. Okay. So, like, we can project that maintenance monitoring here, or how it can be. It's a very specific question, I know, but here we can apply for challenge to we fit in that era. Yeah.
Thank you, Madhusudan, for reaching out. But I think your question doesn't need any answer. You think you are fit, you please apply.
Yeah. Okay.
What should I say? And leave it to the judgment of our partner incubators. Maybe Rashmi would be one assessing your application. And once you are through with this multi-level scrutiny, and thereafter you are told to face the high-powered selection committee, they will be one who will see how well you fit into their system, how well is your product designed to meet their requirements. And maybe they may ask you to sort of customize it slightly, or maybe reduce the requirements, and then they will assess whether you will be able to customize it as per the that particular services need. In this particular case, it is Navy. Navy will assess you whether you can customize it precisely to their requirements, and thereafter select you if you are fit.
Okay. Okay, doctor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Madhusudan.
1 minute I'll take, ma'am.
Sure.
We also have some people from our defense PSU and services. We have Major Raman Bhardwaj, who is a part of our attendees. Unfortunately, we could not add him. So do you have Mr. Major Raman?
Swati, can you unmute him?
Raman Bhardwaj.
Please.
Major Raman Bharadwaj.
And the other person is Dr. Rajesh AK. Dr. Rajesh, I just messaged him. He's from HL, and he is going to be answering certain specific queries that you may have regarding the challenges from HL. There's one challenge from HL, which talks about computer generated targets. So we have Rajesh AK. Yeah, Rajesh AK. we have Rajesh Shekhar. You can unmute him and just have a brief introduction about Dr. Rajesh.
Is he there?
Yeah, on behalf of Dr. Rajesh, this is Rupesh Shell here, sir. Ma'am, right now we don't have any queries regarding on the session.
Okay, so anyone out of audience, if they have any specific query to the challenge launched by HL regarding that computer generated target, they can now or even later, they can reach out to Dr. Rajesh. He shall be coordinating the activities on this regarding this challenge.
Sure. So if our audience, if you have any question, maybe offline, we can take it. You can pass the question to us and we will pass the question to the relevant people from IDEX, to Dr. Rai and other nodal officers who have given these challenges. So any questions, any queries, you pass it on to us. And I think we are now at the end of the session, almost 12:15. So thank you very much. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Dr. Rai. Thank you, Suruchi, for joining us, sparing time and giving lots of insights, Abhishek, to our startups, and Suruchi, also your learnings. Thank you, Dr. Rai, for sharing this experiences, sharing these challenges, and supporting even our startups during this journey. So I thank you all. Thank you, audience, for participating, and do connect with us. Science website, you can check for the updates for the programs, new programs, and any other information regarding incubation and programs. You can find it on our website. Do follow us on the Twitter and Facebook social media as well. I thank all the panelists once again. Thank you so much.